Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We are awaiting the live press conference from JD Vance regarding Islamabad, Pakistan talks. So, but before we listen to what's going on and what comes out of that podium and that vice president's mouth, we need to pause a beat, right? Because we've been here before. We heard speeches like this before, confident, polished, patriotic. I just look at JD Vance, as a very shady, manipulative person. I can't trust what he says. That's just me because he comes across as creepy. He comes across as one of those people that manipulate you by the things that they say. And they really won't tell the truth unless it benefits them. That's the way he comes across to me, JD Vance. But that's just how I feel. So we done heard these speeches. We done heard him, he's polished, he's clean, patriotic, all that bullshit, although, I really don't believe in the agenda of white nationalist language that they use. And I'm not really going for that because that doesn't benefit me. But we heard these speeches before and they have been wrong. Wrong about the facts, wrong about the people, wrong about the cost. And every time it's regular people who pay the price for it. We always have to pay the price for it. And we're paying the price for it now. Now we got to pay for what's going on the ground, right? Now we got to pay for all the things they say is going to go on with this Strait of Hormuz thing. I wonder, did they tell those people, did they tell JD Vance and them to go take a flying leap? Did they say that to them? You know what I'm saying? Because they all of these things that have come out, they're not taking the easy route with this president. They're not taking the I'm going to go along with what the president says type thing. But we're always the one who pays the price for it. So one thing we don't do is we're not going to accept blindly what these people tell us. Because we know that this administration gets on camera and directly lies to our face. So I know for a fact that I'm not going to believe everything they say until I see it. We had a ceasefire. We didn't have a ceasefire. Had a ceasefire. Now we don't have a ceasefire. Can't believe what they say. We are here to listen carefully to what they have to say. We're here to question. You have to start questioning this administration because they say what they want to say when they want to say it. Okay. Hey, Tahilism, how you doing? They say what they want to say. So we're here to question what we hear. And when we're here to separate the truth from fiction that they always want to feed us. Okay? Always want to feed us. They want to massage our ego. They want to massage everything is perfect. Nothing is out of place. Nothing is bad when it comes to this administration. And then they say and screw us backwards. And we don't know we got screwed until after we think about it, after we say. How did they make such a fundamental mistake by getting into this war with with Iran? My understanding is Donald Trump asked 3 people. He asked JD Vance last, and JD Vance said he didn't want us to get into into a war. He said that. But Bibi Netanyahu talked Donald Trump into going into war. Talked Donald Trump into saying, oh, hey, this is going to happen if we don't do this X, Y, and Z. Okay? My understanding is the generals or the people in the military said this was a bunch of bullshit. But the president decided to put us into this war anyway. Okay? So I don't believe anything he said. This president is prone to lie to the American people. So when somebody's prone to lying to the American people, I can't believe what they say. If you believe a person will lie, if you believe a person will lie, you need to take everything these people say with a grain of salt. Okay? Because every decision that they have made for the American people, it has not been to the benefit of the American people. You have to remember that. Every decision they have made has not been to the benefit of the American people. Okay? When it came to tariffs, when it came to the big, beautiful bill, when it came to rolling stuff back in the country, with it going to war, none of these things benefited the American people. So I have to look at them side-eyed. Okay? And we have to separate the truth from the messaging that they want to get out. They'll tell you one thing, but they be doing something behind the scenes. So when it comes to Iran, the conversation stops being about governments and starts turning into something else. So it turns into a blame place of an entire people. Those people did not have control of the Strait of Hormuz until Bibi Netanyahu and the President Trump decided they were going to mess with them folks. Now them folks got control of the Strait of Hormuz, which basically means they can bring our economy to a standstill, which they have done. They don't have to close the Strait of Hormuz. They don't have to do that. Iranians don't have to do that. The only thing they have to do is make it too dangerous for the insurance companies to insure the tankers that have to go through that. And the insurance companies will set that down. They will shut that down. I'm insuring you. I'm insuring your tanker. You can't go through there. That's all they have to do is make it uninsurable. And nobody will be able to pass through those straits. So I don't trust a thing this president they have to say when it comes to these Iranian people. I see it when I believe it when I see it. Okay. And blaming just the Iranian people, this is a war that the United States started. United States and Israel started. The Iranian people weren't our enemy at that time. They're not our enemy. They have families, workers, mothers, children. They're not sitting at home making war plans. But if it comes to this administration will make you believe that it's a bunch of war plans. And they've been sitting there 7 years making war plans against the United States. They will make you believe that. So we have to listen to exactly what J.D. Vance is going to say. Okay. We can't support this war. It's never going to be a positive thing because most people cannot see the reasons for us going to war. Most people cannot see why. Okay. They said it would be going live in what? Be going live in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Well, now they should be going live soon enough, but who knows? Okay. Come on, let's go live, y'all. But they're not live, so we waiting for them to go live. Okay. So you don't have to take my word for any of that. Just remember this: the same type of voices pushing what's going on right now in this world are the same type of voices that have led this country into conflicts before. I told y'all, Republicans have a reputation behind every Republican president. They wreck the economy, they declare wars, and then they give tax cuts. Those are the three things that a Republican president normally does. They go and do some shit that wrecks the economy, tax cuts, war. Every last one of the three presidents has done, the Republican presidents have done that. Okay. Because this is what they do as the Republican president. That's what they do. Okay. So the same voices that are pushing the same bullshit are the ones that led us into these kind of conflicts before. So we have to listen to J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, they're letting J.D. Vance speak because J.D. Vance comes across as reasonable. He's just as much as a psycho as the rest of them. Okay. We got led here before. Okay. Okay. We got led here before. So conflicts that cost lives, money, stability, with explanations that didn't add up or hold up when it came to scrutiny. So tonight we're going to listen. We're going to listen to J.D. Vance with his slick ass. We're We're not just going to hear him. We're going to listen to what he got to say. Break it down later. And then we're going to question him. Question what you say, what's going on with y'all. But we're going to keep one thing front and center. What's being said and who benefits from it and who going to pay the price. Okay. Who's going to pay the price for their foolery over in the Middle East? Who's going to pay the price for Iran getting control of a critical waterway for our benefit? People say, oh, we make oil here. We have oil here. We drill here. Yes, drill by private companies who put their oil on the market. We don't pay the highest price for the oil here. We don't just get to say, hey, you got to drill and it only goes to us. That's not how that works. I have oil and this person says they're going to pay me $20 a barrel. And this person say they're going to pay me $13 a barrel. Or this person said they're going to pay me $27. And if that $27 is not United States, oh, well, that's how it goes, because I am a private company and I can sell my oil to whoever I want to sell it to. Okay. I can do that. So this is where we are at. We get oil and I get that too. I get that. We drill oil. I get that. But we're not the person that is in charge of the pricing. The global market is what happens when you put your oil on auction to be sold. Oh, I don't know. We got to do what we got to do. And hopefully these people try to do right by the United States, but they don't never try to do right by the United States people. Okay. They always doing something else. Okay. They always doing something else that does not benefit us. Okay. And I hate that they never do things to benefit us. It's always in the long term benefiting them and only them. Okay. Now, they said they went over to be able to, negotiate with Iran. What are y'all negotiating? Iran has you over a barrel. Okay. Iran has you, they have you where they want to have you. You gonna agree to a lot of things. What are you guys agreeing to when you're over here in this Islamabad, Pakistan? What are you guys agreeing to? Because Iran don't have to agree to nothing. They already done closed the strait for most people. They have already interrupted the global order. I know if Iran doesn't agree to anything, you have to go over there with boots on the ground. We understand that boots are over there already. We understand this. You haven't told the American people, but you haven't told the American people that you have put boots on the ground within 2-3 weeks of you going over there, because you knew somebody told you. Somebody told you that the Iranians don't quit. They ain't got no quit. They ain't got no quit in them. If you think, because every time the president gets on TV, the president says, we decimated their planes, we decimated their buildings, their oil, we just cleared everything. No, you didn't. But might doesn't mean anything. Just because you have more firepower doesn't mean you win anything. This is the classic story of David and Goliath. Remember David and Goliath? I did a video on that 2 or 3 days, a day ago or so, about David and Goliath. Fable where David beat Goliath with a stone from his slingshot. Goliath was this big bad monster, this big bad soldier. Who can beat me? Who can come and get me? I have planes, trains, automobiles. I've defeated everybody. Nobody can beat me. And here comes little old David. He ain't nothing but a shepherd's boy. Comes and pulls a slingshot, and the slingshot hits the giant, the giant in the face, Goliath in the face, in the forehead, and knocks him down, dead. All of that firepower that the United States has, all of the military, Israel, all of them, still couldn't put Iran down. Even with all of our firepower, you still saw them with fight in them. They still was fighting. Okay. And they said they're not going to stop fighting until Israel stops bombing Lebanon. And people kept saying, oh, there was a ceasefire. No, Israel was still bombing Lebanon. So there was really no ceasefire. Okay. This was an excuse for Israel to get out there and do what they wanted to do with the cover of the United States, and goofy ass fucking Donald Trump followed him down the rabbit hole. And then by following Bibi Netanyahu down the rabbit hole, he pulled us all down that rabbit hole too. So now we got to deal with this president. Now we got to deal with the Iranian people and their goofy leader, on top of the fact that we already in it with Bibi Netanyahu, and who knows? At some point, he must have been a smart man. At some point. At some particular point. But you can get a giant ape to do anything you want them to do. You can get a retarded ape to do whatever you want him to do. And Bibi Netanyahu was able to get our retarded ape to do what he wanted him to do. And that was start a war with Iran. Okay, but I think it's a cover for something else. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's a cover for something else, because they knew that Iran wasn't going to quit. They knew Iran wasn't going to quit. At least Israel knew that they weren't going to quit. Okay, they knew it, but it was a cover for something. I don't know what, but it was a cover for something that Israel wanted to do on a side note. Don't know what, but to me, seems like it's some kind of cover to do something else. That's exactly how it comes across. And we don't know. So we're going to sit here and we're going to wait until we get what's going on with J.D. Vance, his remarks in Islamabad, Pakistan. Let's hear, because this is one of the smoothest characters that they have in their arsenal, is J.D. Vance. Too bad he's not likable. Too bad he doesn't come across as the boy next door. You know how some men come across as the boy next door? They don't come across as threatening. They don't come across as anything. J.D. Vance comes across as smarmy. Like, I know you're going to lie. You used to lying. You want to lie. And that's your go-to, is to lie. Okay? That's what it comes across as. You're a person that's going to lie instinctively, immediately off the bat. And it don't matter how it goes. He's going to lie either way it goes. So we listen to what J.D. Vance has to say. Let's hope. See, that I keep saying let's hope, but there is no real hope of real quit. Because we have nobody wants to reel in Israel from the genocide and all that they're doing to the Pakistani people. Nobody wants to call them out on the world stage. Nobody wants to do that. Okay. And yet we went to war behind this person that has committed war crimes as far as I'm concerned. Okay. I don't want to hear the bullshit about should they exist. Everybody should exist. Israel ain't no more special than anybody else. They should exist like everybody else, just like the Pakistani people, just like the Palestinian people should exist. Okay. That's the way I look at it. So we're going to see what we come up with this. So hopefully you guys stick around. We can listen to see what they have to say. What fresh hell did they bring upon the United States? We don't know, but we will be listening. We will be right here listening because we don't know what they're going to say. Now, they announced this 30 minutes ago, and I've been sitting here talking, trying to soak up some time so we can they can show up. But what the hell is going on? You all should be entertaining us. That's all I'm saying. You all should be entertaining us if that's the case, because we're waiting for all this to fall out, right? So while we're doing that, we can also talk about what else we can talk about. Oh, we can talk about that Melania Trump. Why she came out and said the things she said. I believe she came out and said what she said because she was trying to get in front of a story that is already in the news over on Twitter, right? On Twitter, there's a story about a lady who came to work Zimpoli, the dude that's coming out and saying that he introduced Melania to Donald Trump. First of all, I don't believe a thing that Melania said. I don't believe any of that. She just, I wish I could understand her accent better. How you in this world, and how you been in this country so long and your accent is so fucking thick that can't nobody understand you? But then that's just me. She came out and she said X, Y, and Z. Do anybody believe that? No, even the hardcore MAGA can see the pictures and know that she knew who Jeffrey Epstein was, and she partied with him, and she had more of a personal relationship with him. Now, she may try to make it seem as though she didn't. She tried to make it seem as though it was something else, something other than what it was. And we don't believe her. Nobody worth their salt should believe her. Okay? Nobody should believe anything she says or her husband says. But anyway, on TikTok, it was a woman on TikTok. I forgot her name, Umbergo, some weird name. She said, yes, Paul Zampoli, I forgot his name. He introduced her, this guy that works in the Donald Trump cabinet is the one who introduced her to Donald Trump. And he introduced her to Donald Trump. And this other woman was his lover. So this other woman was Pompelli, I forgot his name. Pompelli. His ex-wife, he called ICE down to Miami to get her deported. So, because they were having a custody battle with their child. She got deported, and then she finally spoke up on TikTok and told Melania, you don't know who you're talking to. I can put you in I can put your shit on Front Street. You and your pedophile husband. You know what time it is. You know what messing with me is going to cost you. Blah, blah, blah. This is the story that hit on X. It's not a bigger story because people don't really understand. This had to be the reason. We can't just say this is the reason that Melania came out and talked. Okay. We can't say that. We don't know why she came out and said what she said. They're just assuming that she came out and said what she said because she was trying to get ahead of this story about her and this girl who says she has the dirt on Melania. And who actually believes that Melania didn't have a personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Specifically, after we saw all the emails, we saw the emails in which she's greeting them in emails like she knows them. Somebody who doesn't know them very well wouldn't talk to them like that in no emails. So these are personal emails that this lady, Melania had towards Epstein and Ghislaine. So we knew that Epstein and Ghislaine had a relationship with Melania. Of course, she had a relationship with Melania. Melania was dealing with Trump at the time. So Melania did not come from a rich family. So she seems like an ambitious human being. So an ambitious human being got with a rich white man. So she wasn't about trying to get with no man money. She wasn't trying to do anything illegal, anything illicit. She wasn't trying to do any of those things. This is what she wants us to believe. No, I just fell in love with Trump. I wasn't trying to do nothing. I didn't know none of his friends. I wasn't dealing with none of them and da-da-da. We don't believe that. I don't believe that you don't have a relationship or you didn't have a relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein, specifically with the pictures that y'all have. You have pictures of you kissing Epstein. You have pictures of you taking pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump, and you got pictures of you and Epstein wrestling. So we got to believe that you knew Epstein pretty well. Okay. On top of the fact that the journalists documented the fact that Epstein said he slept with you. So we're not even going to take that. We're going to put that to the side. We're going to put that fact to the side. But what we ain't going to put to the side are the pictures and the videos that we saw. AI ain't creating all those videos now. AI ain't creating all of those videos. Some of those videos, hey, I even give you half of them. But the other half, no, the other half tells the tale that you knew Jeffrey Epstein and you knew Ghislaine Maxwell, and you're trying to cover for yourself because this young lady from Brazil is coming out with a book and an article saying, if y'all don't help me, I'm going to expose you. Well, she didn't say, if you don't help me, you're going to expose. What she said was, I know where the bodies are buried. I know where your bodies are buried, Melania. So you better act right. You better act right like you know. Okay? She got deported from the United States because of somebody that Melania knew. Okay? Melania, the person that introduced Melania to Trump, she got deported by that guy. And the girl who got deported said, Melania better watch her step with me because I know where the bodies are buried. So this is where we are with Donald Trump and Melania and why she came out and said what she said. Hold on. So we are awaiting this. Hey, you, how you doing? So we are awaiting this interesting press conference on a Saturday night news cycle. I wonder why they decided that they were going to do a press conference after this. Was it so important? Was it so monumental that you all needed to come out on a Saturday night and tell us what was going on with this peace talk? If it was a regular old standardized peace talk, why didn't you all just come out and say, okay, why didn't you all get regular say put out a press release or something and say, hey, we came to a deal, and then wait till Monday morning to come and announce it? But you all needed to come right here tonight. And maybe it's morning time there. I don't know what time. What time is it in Islamabad? Okay. Time right now. I mean, what time is it right now? compared to here he is. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are.
Well, good morning, everybody. And let me say a couple of notes of appreciation. First of all, to the Prime Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible hosts. And whatever shortcomings in the negotiation, it wasn't because of the Pakistanis who did an amazing job and really tried to help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms. Questions?
So, Nick Robertson from CNN. Precisely what have they rejected here? Can you help us understand it a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, I won't go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we've negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just 2 years from now, but for the long term? We haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. Jen.
Was there a framework on anything? And also, did the Iranian frozen assets come up? And did you reach any conclusions on those frozen assets?
We talked about all those issues, Jen, and we talked about a number of issues beyond that. And so certainly those things came up. But again, we just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told us, you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to make any headway. Preston.
Because they don't have nothing to hold over Iran. Iran got all the cards with the Hormuz.
Mr. Vice President, how often did you communicate with President Trump throughout the negotiations? There were reports that there were multiple rounds, where there were breaks in between negotiations. How often did you communicate with the president throughout those rounds, and what was he saying as you were going through these negotiations that you said fell short?
Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it. Thank you.
So they're frustrated. They're mad because Iran said, oh no, bruh. We got the upper hand. We have the Strait of Hormuz. See, Iran don't have to do nothing. They're just going to wait for the Americans to come and try to get their uranium. Their uranium is 300 miles in. So that basically means the Americans are going to have to get boots on the ground in order to come get us. That's what Iran is saying. Why would a country say no to the might of the American people? They said no because the Americans want them to give up their nuclear weapons, surrender. They don't get anything. Open the Strait of Hormuz. They're not getting their money back. I wouldn't surrender neither. You just got to come get some. The reason why they're not in front of that damn podium is because they didn't get nothing that they wanted. The Iranians said, hell no, we got the Strait of Hormuz on our side. You are going to give us what we want. for us to negotiate. You're going to have to give us what we want. Now, you need to go back to that 10-point plan that the Israelis, what is that 10-point plan? Where's the 10-point plan? 10-point plan that the Iranians wanted. That 10-point plan tell you the tale right there. The 10-point plan, what is it? What is a 10-point plan? They want them. What is that 10-point plan? Y'all give me the 10 points again. Let me see. What is it? What ceasefire of the Israeli on what the hell is that? Lebanon. Ceasefire on Lebanon. They want that straight off the gate. If you don't give them that, they're not gonna deal with you. Because they said that in the, what is it? They said that a little while ago. You notice that Israel kept bombing, right? They said Israel got to stop bombing. If they don't stop bombing, we not giving you anything you want. Let me see the 10-point. What is that 10-point? Okay. Damn, when I need it, a guarantee of non-negotiation, the guarantee of non-aggression. They're saying the United States got to stop the war right now. Israel has to stop the war right now. They want to have control of the strait. They didn't have the control of the Strait of Hormuz before this. They didn't have control. They just could stop people if they wanted to, but they had no intention of doing that. But now they got control of the Strait of Hormuz. Because a part of the negotiation is Donald Trump wants them to open that Strait of Hormuz. But they had to leave it in the control of Iranians. And the Iranians said, if you come over here, you're gonna make a lot of Americans die on our soil if you come over here. So they also want, what was the part of the 10-point plan? Accept Iranians' right to enrich uranium. Now, that basically means we should seek to make a nuclear weapon. Israel has nuclear weapons. United States has nuclear weapons. Why is it that Iranians can't have nuclear weapons? That's what they're saying in their 10-point plan. We want to be able to get a nuclear weapon just like y'all got a nuclear weapon. You ain't gonna stop us from getting you're not gonna stop us from the enriched uranium. We're not giving that up. And the only way for the Americans to give that up is the uranium is 300 miles in. And it's over rough terrain and mountains and X, Y, and Z, which basically means you're gonna have to send foot soldiers. You're gonna send men on the ground to come get this uranium. And we understand that a lot of your men are gonna die. I also believe there's more men that died over there, and men and women that died over there, and they not telling us, the American people. So they said our right to do enrich uranium, so you can't stop us from doing that. And those are the two sticking points. Those are the serious sticking points. They won't have any kind of non-aggressive tactics. They want to continue to have the control of the Strait of Hormuz, and never had that until now. And then they want to accept the fact that Iran is going to have enriched uranium. Y'all got nuclear weapons. I want to have nuclear weapons. That's basically what Iran is saying. 2, they want them to lift those sanctions off of them. Are you willing to lift the sanctions? They have money that we have money. See, here's the thing. When you hear people making this argument that Obama went over there and gave them a pallet full of money, it wasn't our money that he was giving. He didn't take a pallet of money over there, no way. It was their money. We had sanctions on their money. Okay? So it was their money that Obama loosened the strings on. He didn't go over there and give them pallets of money. You hear the president say that over and over again. That's a lie. He didn't give them pallets of money. And it wasn't our money. Even if he did, it wasn't our money. It was their money. Okay? Then they got secondary sanctions that they want. Okay? They wanted the United States wanted to be able to go in, do X, Y, and Z. It's a whole bunch of things. And I guess we only went in and we only wanted them not to have a nuclear weapon. You're not finna control me. with a nuclear weapon, and Israel has a nuclear weapon. Everybody around here probably got a nuclear weapon except me, and y'all come for me. That's what Iran is saying. Okay. They also want the United States to pay them reparations. Okay. For you guys starting a war with me, you're going to have to pay me for starting a war. This is what they also saying, which is part of the 10-point plan. I swear to God, they made it impossible for the United States to say yes. But the United States is also making it impossible for them to say yes too. Okay. And they saying ceasefire, Israel has a ceasefire on all fronts, including Hezbollah in Lebanon. And that's a part of the 10-point plan. But if and when it happens, who knows when it's going to happen. They also want the United States combat forces to get out of the region. And we have combat forces over there. I think about 30, 40,000 troops in the Middle East were there before the war. But they want the ones that they have recently put there, they want those to leave. Okay? They are upset. I stopped it. I freezed it on this frame. I freezed it on this frame because they didn't get nothing of what they wanted. United States didn't get nothing. They only really wanted, and they could only ask for two things. You guys can't have a nuclear weapon, and you guys can't have your you guys can't keep the Strait of Hormuz. I told y'all in my opening dialogue, I told y'all that just because you have the best army, the best military, the best drones, the best everything, don't mean you got to be the one you're not always going to win the war. The United States is Goliath. They are the Goliath in this situation. Iran is the David. They have all of the leverage. Iran has all of the. You guys started a war with me so y'all can come get my uranium. That's what Iran is saying. You guys started a war with me so y'all can make sure I didn't have any. I didn't make a nuclear weapon. Well, my uranium is 300 miles inland. You got to come over mountains, seas, valley. You got to come past a whole bunch of stuff in order to get my uranium. And once you come on my land, you working with me. I know this land by the back of my hand. So some of these men are going to die on the soil. Some of you American men are going to die in Iran if you cut loose your soldiers to come get my uranium. That's basically what they said. Okay. We couldn't, he didn't say no points that they came to an agreement on. They didn't come to no agreement whatsoever. You notice that they walked away. He said, we didn't get no agreement whatsoever because the Iranians got them over a barrel. So how are they going to spin this? Is Donald Trump going to give us another 48 hours saying, no, we finna blow y'all the fuck up out of here. We going to X, Y, and Z. Is that what Donald Trump is going to do? Like a threat like that has made them, those people ain't moved even when you gave them that threat before. They didn't move. The only people that has been moving is the United States because they don't want to put military boots on the ground because they know there's going to be a lot of deaths that come from them putting boots on the ground. So they don't want to do that. Okay. So we're going to see that press conference only would last like 5 minutes, if that. Okay. If that. And we didn't get nothing in return. So I will await the president getting on the horn trying to spin some bullshit because there ain't no spinning this. You walked up to the podium. You said there was no agreement. No agreement came to it. The Iranian people said, hell no. Iranian people rejected whatever y'all came to the table with. That tells me this is over and the war going to continue. And we're going to have boots on the ground within the next 2 weeks. Because there ain't nothing to say now, is it? We're going to have boots on the ground. You guys put what you think in the comment section, please, and thank you. I appreciate it. If we have any more news, breaking news, any kind of lives, I will definitely be here to go live. If we have any more lives, I appreciate comments in the chat. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. If we got any more breaking news this weekend, I will definitely be there. But it looks like the United States is taking a big fat L. And I believe they didn't want them to have uranium. And I believe they wanted to keep the money, the sanctions, and they wanted them to surrender the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran said, y'all can go fly because we don't care. This is the modern day David and Goliath. Go look at my other video that says the modern day Trump is the modern day Goliath. Go look at that video and know what I'm talking about. I appreciate y'all. Put a like, share, and comment. Please put like, share, and comment, or share, like this video. Please and thank you. I appreciate y'all.